Well, hello and welcome to Fox News Tonight. I'm Will Cain. Driving racial division has now become a major feature of American media, especially after the 2020 BLM riots. As Zaid Jalani pointed out on Twitter today, the media takes low-level arguments between people and it creates national stories by amplifying the character's race, seemingly all to gin up racial animosity. As a result, time and again, they make race hoaxes go viral, but they never correct the record when the real truth emerges. You'd think by now, they've gotten it wrong so many times, the media would slow down and wait for the facts before jumping to conclusions on these stories. But that's just it. They know better, and yet still jump to conclusions. It's deliberate. And Sarah Comrie is the latest victim of the media's lies. Sarah Comrie is a nurse at Bellevue Hospital in New York. She's 6 months pregnant, and earlier this week, Comrie went viral after she was filmed arguing with 5 teenagers over a city bike.
Record him. Help! Help me! Please help me!
It's not your bike.
Please help me!
It's not your bike. It's not your bike.
Please help me! Help! Please get off me!
Hey, what the f*** is going on, bro?
Please get off.
Yo, don't not take it, bro.
Now you're not getting the bike, bro.
Hey, now you're not getting the bike, bro.
Help!
You're not getting
Get
the
off
bike.
me,
I'm
dude.
not. Bro,
Why you took his phone? What's wrong with you?
stupid as something. You're not
Don't touch
touching
his
my
phone.
phone.
Do not touch his phone.
I'm not touching you. You putting your stomach on my hand.
No, dude, stop. No, dude, stop. No. I said no. I said sit down.
Please help me!
She's just crying.
You're not crying. You're not crying.
That's stupid.
I got
It's
you on
my
video.
bike.
Oh.
Drunk.
Wait, you pulled it out?
Hey. That's stupid. Stop out of here. Dumb. Your baby gonna come out with something.
Wait, how you stop crying? Not a tear came down, miss.
She'd apparently just finished a 12-hour shift at the hospital. Now, normally in a situation like this, the individual's races would not matter. It appears to just be a dispute over a bike. But in today's America, you must see race, and you are required to take the side of any black person in incidents that also involve a white person. Evidence does not matter. And not only do you have to side with the person of color, but you must immediately believe that the incident is racial in nature. So because of these rules, Sarah Comrie is white and the 5 teenagers are black, and therefore Sarah Comrie is automatically racist and at fault. Those are the rules in America. And the media headlines immediately followed those rules, referring to Comrie as a Karen, which is a new racial slur for white women. Here's the Daily Beast. Viral clip shows New York City Karen allegedly trying to take a black man's city bike. The Root had a similar headline. New York City bike Karen put on leave by employer. Revolt, whatever is Revolt, wrote, City bike Karen placed on leave after screaming for help while trying to steal in a viral clip. Now, because of these smears, these racial smears, Comrie's employer, which should have known better, should have given her the benefit of the doubt, also accused Comrie of racism. In a statement, the hospital called her actions, quote, disturbing, and they put her on leave, and they are now reviewing her employment. But it turns out there was a major problem with the story. Sarah Comrie didn't steal the bike from the black teenagers. Now we know they stole the bike from her. She had paid for it, and they tried to take it. Comrie has the receipts to prove it and has released them through her lawyer. He points out the obvious fact, that race has nothing to do with this incident.
What happened is she got off a 12-hour shift at Bellevue Hospital, and she tried to go home. She went to a vacant bike where no one was touching, no one was on. She mounted the bike, she paid for the bike. She ended up actually pulling back off the docking station. And then around that time, these individuals were claiming that that was their bike. Someone pushed the bike while she was on it back into the docking station, so it locked again. And the rest of the video is shown. That's where the video picks up. And these receipts show that she rented the bike. The serial numbers match, so there's no question that the bike that she is on in that video is a bike that she reserved.
Could this just have been an ugly miscommunication?
I mean, that's all effectively this is. Race has nothing to do with it. If the skin colors were the same, we would not be here today.
Sarah Comrie has every right to be upset that the 5 teenagers were stealing the bike from her, but she isn't getting any apologies. Now, in fact, she may be out of a job and has been smeared in the media and all over the internet. Even today, after those new details emerged, NBC News continued to spread the lie. In a tweet to their 9 million followers, the outlet omitted the fact that the nurse had paid for the bike. Here's their headline, their tweet. A New York City hospital employee has been placed on leave after a viral video that appeared to show her attempting to take a rental bike from a group of young black men garnered millions of views. Now, NBC News has put that single tweet out to 9 million followers and has done nothing to correct now that we have new information. And if it weren't for community notes on Twitter, which flagged the tweet as misleading, then NBC News would continue to get away with this lie. The media has done this time and time again. They fell for the Bubba Wallace hoax. You remember the famous NASCAR driver who claimed someone put a noose in his garage. It turned out just to be a garage pull rope. But the media ran with the story anyway.
NASCAR investigating a shocking incident, a noose found in the garage of driver Bubba Wallace.
This could have been one of their own who did something like this, and that is what's most concerning to officials here.
That this happens in the year 2020 is just beyond belief.
So the racism directed at a star of NASCAR who's been helping in the drive against hate and the use of the Confederate flag there. Tonight, the question's about how someone was able to get inside Bubba Wallace's garage stall to leave a noose.
Just propaganda, shameless propaganda. And the media did the same thing to Nick Sandmann. They doxed Sandmann and accused him of being a racist because he wore a Trump hat while protesting against abortion at the Supreme Court.
The MAGA hat carries a certain connotation that provokes a conditioned reaction from many people, especially from marginalized people.
Some have even referred to the hat as a modern-day version of the Confederate battle flag.
The hat announced a certain set of political commitments. Alyssa Milano, I think the actress, describes the hat as the modern-day white sheet. Underneath this is that we give privilege to these white kids. He can sit down with Savannah Guthrie and redeem himself. But then there are all of these other folk who we just presume, who aren't so innocent.
Do you feel from this experience that you owe anybody an apology? Do you see your own fault? There's something aggressive about standing there.
At least in that case, the media had to pay for their lies. Sandmann sued several outlets and reportedly walked away with millions of dollars in settlement money. And then, of course, there's perhaps the greatest race hoax of all, and that was the Jussie Smollett hoax. Again, because Jussie was black, he was immediately believed. It didn't matter how far-fetched his story, and that someone yelled, "This is MAGA country," in the middle of one of the most left-wing cities in America. Smollett's word was taken as truth.
Some breaking news. Actor and musician Jussie Smollett from the hit show Empire was attacked and beaten early this morning in Chicago, and police say it could be a hate crime.
There are many indications of a hate crime here. They are looking for two suspects who were apparently wearing Make America Great Again hats.
We have a media that's saying it's a debate whether or not what just happened to Jussie Smollett is a hate crime. It's absurd.
Jussie Smollett had a noose on his neck just this week.
The media has really cast so much doubt on his story, which I find so personally offensive, that a gay black man is targeted and then suddenly he becomes the victim of people's disbelief.
He said his attackers hurled racial and homophobic slurs at him. And this is America in 2019.
They all take themselves so seriously. Now listen, it is possible, incredibly, to actually go lower than the media. Race hustler and profiteer Ben Crump accused Comrie of stealing the bike from those black teens. He said her behavior was, quote, emblematic behavior that has endangered so many black men in the past. And another race-obsessed lunatic named Tariq Nasheed called Comrie a, quote, suspected white supremacist woman. He even claimed one of the teens had paid for the bike and she tried to steal it from him. His tweet has been seen nearly 5 million times. Now, incidentally, if there is a racial division to be inflamed in America, Ben Crump is almost always there with a blowtorch of lies. Crump lied about Michael Brown, that he held his hands up and said, "Don't shoot." It's a lie that people still repeat, hands up, don't shoot. Crump lied that Jacob Blake was unarmed and came as a peacemaker. Crump lied that Ma'Khia Bryant was unarmed, something we could see was untrue on the video. Crump lied that Dante Wright was shot not by mistake by an officer grabbing her taser, but rather intentionally, impossible for him to know. Crump lied that officers were at the wrong address with Breonna Taylor. That's a lie that people still believe. And just a few weeks ago, without knowing the facts or the motive, Crump told us young Ralph Yarl was shot ringing a doorbell while black. Crump is trying really hard to take the crown of race hustler, King Race Hustler from Al Sharpton. But the king will not go down without a fight. Today was the funeral of Jordan Neely, the homeless man who died while being restrained by former Marine Daniel Penny. Now, this too is about race because Neely was black and Penny is white, so Sharpton, of course, sees green.
His mother was killed, and her funeral was right here. And Jordan sat right there and watched his mother funeralized, who'd been chopped up, and he'd never been the same. Jordan was not annoying someone on the train. Jordan was screaming for help. We keep criminalizing people with mental illness. People keep criminalizing people that need help. They don't need abuse, they need help.
Has Al Sharpton ever been to a funeral for a black person killed by a black person? AOC literally worshipped at the altar of racial division today. She too was at Neely's funeral. How do we know? Because there are photographs of her praying all over the internet. She was also seen taking selfies outside the funeral. She's clearly very distraught over his death. Now, after spending decades fighting for a colorblind society, and really, honestly, almost getting there, maybe 15 years ago, skin color is now supreme in the media, in our schools, with our politicians. It's the lens through which every story is told, and increasingly, it's how our society functions.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.